This episode of the Community Workbench podcast is brought to you by yours truly, Matt Noren of Remax Bell Park. For all of your real estate needs, call me 860-428-6534. Your dreams are my job. Welcome to the Community Workbench. I'm Matt Noren and this is Kyle Morrissey. We are your hosts of the number one podcast in my basement. At the bench, we try to repair the sense of community. So every week, we bring you small businesses, entrepreneurs, community leaders, charities, and pretty much whoever we feel like talking to. And this week, we feel like talking to Joey Rodriguez of the Intergalactic Beets project. Joey, welcome to the bench.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. This is kind of a little bit of a first for me. I have had other guests on that I don't know. So I met you in my driveway, which is cool. But I also have no idea what the Intergalactic Beats project is.
It's a question that I've heard before. So in 2021, I basically started a fictional record label.
Oh, okay.
So I make the music and I attribute it to fake bands from outer space. And with each song comes an album cover that I design, and then I write a detailed backstory of the making of the album and of the artist who makes the song. And that all goes into a big collection. And so far, I've done about 300 songs across over 200 different alien artists.
Wow.
And next week, I'm opening up an exhibition in the form of an intergalactic record store that's going to show all of the art, all the backstories, and all the music for people to come in and browse as if it were a real record store.
Oh,
Wow. So you have over 300 songs,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you make up the character that's the musician.
Yes.
And then, so it's like having a bunch of aliases almost.
Essentially, yeah.
And then you decide how many songs each individual character does, because it sounds like you have less characters than you do songs. So it's not like you
Yes.
make up a character every song.
So the backstory is that in the future, music has been banned and destroyed, and the Intergalactic Beats project rescues all that music and decodes it and restores it and puts it on vinyl for everybody to hear for free. So sometimes we can only recover one song. So you might see an album that has a full album cover, a full backstory, a full track list, but you can only hear one song because that's all we've been able to recover. We have 12 full albums and 4 EPs. So each full album has 8 songs, and each EP has between 2 and 4 songs. So that's kind of the discrepancy between the number of artists and the number of songs like total. And there's repeat artists. We have an artist, Pizza Bear, who's an anthropomorphic bear who delivers pizza during the day and makes beats in his basement at night. He's got 9 albums, and he has a full album. So altogether, he probably has, I don't know, about 15, 16 songs across, sort of the network of the discography.
Wow. So do the artists have full background stories? Like
They do.
what planet they come from? So
Yes.
do you make up planets too, or
Planets, galaxies, solar systems, races of aliens, different types of foods, different types of craft, different types of instruments, things like that. And so I'll craft a story where, like, again, for instance, using Pizza Bear as an example, he's a bear who lives in a big city, delivers pizza, but he makes beats in his basement. But also his backstory is that he goes on this fantastic trip throughout the universe to help save music. He comes back and starts like a dare program to get other bears off of drugs. And like he makes an album about it. And like he's kind of got a rise and fall. He got too big, for his britches, and he had to come back to Earth. And then he was more popular than ever. And it just sort of kind of layers on top of each other. And then kind of the undercurrent of all this is the villain who's been banning all this music that the Intergalactic Beats project is sort of fighting against and being, like clandestine to try to rescue all this music before it's just lost forever.
huh? And is there like video of this, or is this just
We have
a
some
storyline in your head kind of thing, or do you write too? Is this like a book? Is this like progressing as a book?
So
Or
it comes in a couple of different forms. So we have some video elements. All the backstories you can read on my website. So every time you go there and you look at the discography, you can click on an album cover, and then it'll have the entire backstory, the link to the music, the song, and if there's any extra content that comes with it. Like for instance, with this exhibition, I did a full album, kind of a horror vampire theme, I wrote a whole separate book about the backstory of the inspiration for the album itself. So that comes in the form of a little chapbook that I actually brought you guys.
Oh,
Oh,
These just came in, so they're still shrink wrapped here.
oh, very
Wow.
cool.
so this is a book?
Yeah, so if you want
Can I
to
open
that
it?
up, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. So the album is about this band who basically fights vampires with their music, and I sort of wrote kind of a Dracula Frankenstein-esque approach to their adventures, which are captured in the album itself through the music. So there's a lot of companion stuff that comes along with it. Also, I do a like a fake zine that's about the world and the music, and it has like previews of upcoming songs that haven't been released
Okay.
and stuff like that. So I actually brought some of that as well.
Wow.
That's
What's
so
a
cool.
zine? This is a sweet, like, this is really cool looking for
Thank
those
you. Yeah.
just listening. He handed us this little red book. It's got a bat on the front. What's the,
Oh, it's called the Vrykula Codex. Vrykula is the
Vrykula.
name of the chief vampire in the story.
Oh, okay.
He's the
Okay.
villain. So zine is basically like a underground magazine.
Oh.
They're usually pretty short. Like they're really popular in the 70s and 80s and like the punk and like the mod movements to like share information about bands or art or
okay.
poetry or things like that. So I do a semi-regular one. Usually when I do an exhibition, I'll do like a new one. But in the beginning, I did a bunch of them just to sort of establish the world. So I brought you a couple. This is the newest one. Nobody has this yet. This is about the album that this book here sort of ties into.
Holy moly.
so you mail these out to people?
Yeah,
Or-
people can order
yeah,
them,
yeah.
and you can read it for free on my website. You can also read this book for free as well
Oh, wow.
on my website. But you can buy a hardcover if you want it for your collection.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can see it has like the author is not me. It's all supposed
Yeah,
to be
that's
as
yeah.
if
wild. So
So
somebody
you're
else is
like a
doing-
ghost writer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want.
And a, what do they call a ghost musician?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that has.
That's happened before. There's got to be a word for that. 'Cause there's
Yeah, I mean,
that
people
do
usually
that.
just write
Yeah.
for other people.
Yeah, and
you
they-
know, like
yeah.
like Prince,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like for everybody. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
Right, but
Quincy
he,
Jones
he's
or whatever.
acknowledged,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Songwriter. Yeah.
in film they usually call it like a script doctor
Oh, okay.
who does like uncredited rewrites like for movies and stuff like that. That happens
Oh,
like
wow.
all the time.
Okay. Huh.
But yeah, kind of the way that I've approached it is I don't necessarily want all of this credit. I want it to exist as if it were real. So my last pop-up I did, a lot of people would come in and say like something to the effect of this is kind of a weird question, but I don't know any of the albums or bands here. And I'm like, well, that's good because you're not supposed to. It's all it's all
Right. That's
fictional.
got to be
Yeah.
wild for someone to walk in and not know
Yeah,
like
exactly.
what's going on.
Like your brain is like doesn't compute, like
Yeah.
because like most people think I'm hip. I at least know who's in the news, music wise.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I try to take that approach that it has to feel real, so it has to have a zine, it has to be available on different formats, such as cassettes.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Just put 4 cassettes on the bench. This is wild. Now, do you have a cassette player? Like, who can
yes.
play this?
Yeah, I do. I make all that. I put all the music on there myself. I transfer it all myself.
Oh, wow.
And I put the stickers on the
Yeah,
on the little
yeah.
windows. I do everything myself.
You must have an incredible studio and workshop.
Literally just a small home office. I do
Really?
everything in there,
Wow.
That's
and a closet that's like got way too much stuff in it.
So, just because we don't, I haven't heard any of the music. Like, is it different genres or does it all kind of fit? So it's like
Yes,
there might be some country, there might be some rock and roll. Or
There's 25 different genres of music across
Okay.
the entire
Wow.
discography. So you have
Wow.
stuff from
Are they made up genres or real genres?
usually I attribute a real genre and a fake genre
Oh.
to it so that it kind of exists in the world, but if somebody's just casually listening, they can sort of look for something that
Yeah.
makes sense to, or is recognizable to them. So there's like pop, rock, country, jazz, hip hop, electronic, pretty much everything. And then we get sort of deeper into stuff like this album, which is like dungeon synth, which is like a very specific type of synthesizer music that's like more dark and disturbing, or it has like certain just like elements to it that make you feel as if you're in a dungeon or like kind of in a spooky movie or something like that.
I was going to ask if this was you're pushing to get this out in October.
yeah. I mean, literally, this book came like 2 days ago.
Oh,
All the
oh,
copies
wow.
came.
perfect.
Yeah.
So so it's just in time. Yeah.
And where can people buy this?
They can buy that on my website, intergalacticbeetsproject.com.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe I should have explained this in the beginning that beets is Beets, like the vegetable.
Yeah.
Right.
So the backstory is that the word beet, BEAT, was banned in this fictional universe. So the Intergalactic Beets Project, to avoid detection, had to change their name because in the beginning, it was all the songs were like kind of jokey about food.
Oh,
And it
okay.
sort of kind of evolved from
Yeah.
that. And it's no longer really about food.
Yeah, but I love it. Like
But-
the logo is a take on and everything. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
so it's like they had to change everything about their whole branding to be more beet related, like the vegetable,
yeah.
to like avoid detection. You know, that's
So is
how-
this a hobby or this is like your job?
It's this is like I guess my hobby, my side gig. My
Yeah.
day job is I'm a nonprofit consultant.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow. So you basically have developed a universe
Mm-hmm.
of music and music writers. That's wild.
Can you listen to these on your website or on Spotify? Are you
Yes.
allowed to put them on Spotify and stuff?
Yes, because all the music is mine. It's all originals.
Right. Oh, that's true.
So I own the rights to
Yeah.
it, and you know, even though it would be nice to be credited as myself on Spotify, you can't. I like to put it under all the actual artists. So if you search for Prickly Pete or Pizza Bear or
Oh, so you don't even have it like a Spotify channel for the international.
We do. It's like a
Project.
playlist,
Okay.
which you can get through our website. But
Okay.
the artists are sort of scattered out there for people to sort
I
of
guess.
stumble upon.
That's
Yeah, it's 17 hours of music. Holy cow.
That's crazy.
The goal is to get to 24 hours. That's my end goal. We're
That's-
almost at 300. I have an album releasing at the end of the year, which will be numbers 293 to 300. It's a full album, and then I want to get to 500. That's my goal. 500 and more than 24 hours.
So what's the most popular one? We can play it.
Oh, is it gonna?
Oh no. Well, we can
YouTube
play like
take us down,
I don't
or
know.
whoever take us down.
It shouldn't because I don't have like copyright on anything.
Okay.
Actually, one of the aspects of it is that all the music you can download for free and use it in professional or
Oh,
commercial
that's
or
cool.
private for free.
Oh,
All we
wow.
want is the credit.
Yeah.
That, you know,
Which
that
you don't even really want the credit because it's a fake.
I want people to go to my website.
Yeah, I wonder how that would even work. Like, oh, I'm gonna sue him as the Pizza Bear.
Right, exactly, yeah, when he doesn't show up to court, you know. Don't be surprised.
We didn't really know what he did. See what name he put on the little on the release that he
Oh, yeah.
You want to see my ID?
yeah. We may have to actually have people take a picture with their ID.
So yes, I don't have any copyright on there, so you can
Try
feel free to
playing.
play. I would play. Okay, if you scroll down there, there's a song called "Sleeper Cells" by a band called the Cosmonauts. It should be like kind of near the top.
For your exhibition coming up,
Mhm.
what's the address of the venue? Or
Oh,
and
sure.
just get it out there on the early.
Yeah,
we'll say it a couple of times, but
Sure. It's the Silver Circle Gallery, which is at this place called Block 134, and it's 134 Main Street in
okay.
Putnam. And technically, it's on the second floor. There's no first floor to the establishment,
Okay.
but we'll have lots of signage and stuff out there. It opens the 15th, which is next Wednesday,
yeah.
and it'll run to the 26th of October. And it'll be open to the public, but I will be there in person the 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Okay.
To talk to people, talk about music. It'll be more of a sort of a record store experience those 3 days.
Yeah.
Like I play old sci-fi movies, and I have like a playlist going. And for this album, I built a full size like vampire coffin that you can come
Oh,
and see.
cool. That's cool.
So yeah, it's lots of cool stuff, and you can buy T-shirts and art prints, vinyl, cassettes, these zines, pins, stickers, all sorts of stuff.
So in your home office, you make the vinyl stuff too?
The vinyl is done by another company.
Okay.
Yeah, it's done by a third party because I don't have the technology to do that.
But you have the tech to do this.
Yes.
You're literally making these. in
Yes,
your
I make
phone.
those cassettes. Yeah,
That is wild.
and you have to make them in real time.
Oh,
So, like that's an EP, so that's 3-4 minutes aside. But something like this which is 40 minutes long. It's about 20 minutes aside. So it takes 40 minutes to make one cassette. And I made I don't know 25 of each album. We have 12 albums total. So you can imagine sitting at my computer doing work
Yeah.
and then flipping the tape and making sure it all gets on there.
Jeez.
playing each one back, then doing the stickers, and
You ready with that?
Yeah,
You got to put it up to the mic.
I know. Hold on, let me get a. Hold on.
I thought you said you were ready. How long ago
Trying
did
to
you
figure
start
out
this
it.
big universe project?
March of 2021.
Okay, so you were bored in COVID. Is that what happened?
Well, yeah, a little bit, and a lot of the early songs and art like kind of predates the project, and I kind of just use that as like a starting point. Like I had sort of these elements that I just put together to make like the first song, and I had some art that I sort of transitioned into like, oh, this would be a good album cover, and then from there, like I would say the first like 10-ish songs kind of floated around in my head, or like I had pieces of for a while, and then after that, everything is just original.
Wow. So there's 300 songs. You're in 25 different genres. So do you even have like classical music?
There's some classical parts, sure, like classical piano. But there's violin, all sorts of stuff.
And you play all these instruments?
Yeah, or I do it digitally, where I'll play like a MIDI, and then I'll use a synthesizer or just effects to create. Like there's one song where it has guitar in it, but I didn't play guitar. I actually played it on a keyboard, and then made it sound like a guitar through all like these different effects.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, now I'm ready. You're in.
Is there any vocals?
There's some vocals on some songs, and we even have a song that is preceded by a message from the villain of the whole project. So I had someone do a voice recording for me. So he sort of introduces the song like, hey, we know the Intergalactic Beets is behind all this nonsense, and we're going to send our attack ships. But in the meantime, you can listen to my new single. And then it'll play.
Wow.
Wow. So you said you want to get to 24 hours,
Mhm.
500 songs.
Mhm.
What is that like? Okay, this art project is done at that point. You move on to something else, or is there like more of a future for it?
Well, so next year I'm working on like a live performance of the music, which will take sort of like a musical theater type approach, kind of like think of like a Pee Wee's Playhouse, or like sort of that sort of you know a counterculture underground type performance where we'd have like people come out in costumes and like play the music, and there's like a little bit of a story to it, audience participation and stuff like that. I really want to bring it out of the digital sense, because it's highly digital except for the tapes and,
Yeah.
and the vinyl and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and have it be more real in like in sort of a satire way, where like we can enjoy the music and the art and the sort of story all separately, but then they all come together like on stage to really bring the world to life and give it like a lot of weight, to be able to see like an alien perform a song, or like to have the villain on stage, or to have the heroes playing music to defeat the villain or something like that, to sort of give weight to the fact that there's so much backstory for each album and each artist. Like I think that's like the next phase. The reason I say 500 is just because it's just a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
So like I feel like 500 is like a good place to stop potentially. The fact that I can distribute it for free, like a lot of people have downloaded it for indie movies or like video games and things like that.
Wow.
Like that's kind of the goal, is distribute it for free, just get it out there, like have people use it, because there's just so many resources that people don't have access to. Copyright free music, copyright free sound effects or images and things like that, especially like young filmmakers or young programmers or things like that. Having just like a catalog of, hey, any genre you want, any style, any beat per minute that you want is here, and you can share that. But it's also like sort of a close knit universe that anybody who uses them knows about the backstory and can be part of the world or whatever. So
Yeah, that's cool, because like it's with you working in nonprofit, right? They're always doing stuff for the community, and it's like you've put this all out there for the community to use. That's cool.
for sure, yeah. I mean, just the way that music is like so protected, like on YouTube and things like that. Like if you were just doing something silly and just like I want a cool song to it, they're like, no, you have to take that down. There's no distinction between like the levels of creativity,
Mm.
right? Like if you put in a big blockbuster movie, sure, you got to pay rights, but if I'm just putting a video of like my dog on YouTube, I should be able to use the song for something, or I'm not
Yeah.
making money off of it.
Right.
So trying to like eliminate those barriers of like you can there's no barrier to creating what's in your head,
Mm.
and having some sort of music, and people can remix it, resell it. I don't care. Like as long as they say this came from the Intergalactic Beats project, then I'm cool with that.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, you have that on the back of the book, right? It says published with permission by the Intergalactic Beats Project. And it has your intergalacticbeatsproject.com is where you guys can check out all of this. This is wild. So it's like we've had people that create all kinds of stuff. You've created an entire universe.
And I'm the only one who can keep track of it too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
already lost.
super chaotic in my like you have cassettes, you got vinyl, you got Underground Magazine, a book comes out.
Do you ever have to go back and read like any of this and be like, oh, I think I already had this storyline or I already did this?
at a certain point, it just started clicking in my head where like I can remember like certain things where I'm like, oh, these characters collaborated on an album before. Or if sometimes I'll create like a sample of like a drum line or a melody, and I'm like, I really want to use that here in this song, even though it's from another song. So what I'll do is in the course of the story, I'll say, with permission, they used this line from this other song, and so now these artists are connected, and now I can have them do whatever. Like maybe they make an album together, or maybe one is influenced by the other, and it sort of goes through there. So after a certain point, it all sort of the matrix of how all the relationships are. It just sort of clicked where I could remember. In the beginning, I was going back, like going, what did I say? That one line when he said he was influenced by so and so. Can I put this here? Or what fictional year was this released? So that I can make sure that in the timeline it all matches up. And then after a while, I was just like, I know it, by the back of my hand.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is quite the story to tell. Like it's a
Yes.
storytelling project
Yeah.
as well as a musical project. But then I'm like, you almost want to do a movie
Yeah.
so people can see it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly,
Like it's wild how
Have
much
you
you've
animate?
done. An animated movie.
Well, that's kind of where the
Pixar on
live
this.
performance came through, is that I
Right.
want to do video elements to it.
Yeah.
So like what I want to do is hire some animators to help me bring some of the songs to life as part of like the show being like the Intergalactic Beats project is taking the audience on a journey of who we are, and we're going to go rescue some music together. But in the meantime, as we're on our way to go rescue this music, let's enjoy some imagery of the song. So like a music video, or going out and just doing like a 16mm film, or just something creative like that. So right now I'm working on kind of putting together like an Avengers style, group of artisans and folks who can help me, put that together for next year.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
well, you need that. It's
Yeah.
the universe.
Yeah.
You're gonna save the universe.
Yeah.
Or save the music of the universe.
Yeah,
that you
exactly.
created. That's pretty wild. Do you know, like, you have the exhibition coming up?
Mhm.
Did you say you had another event coming up after that too?
Yes, I have one in October, one in November, which is in Walnut Beach, which is Milford, Connecticut.
Okay.
And then I have one scheduled for April and May of next year in Torrington, Connecticut. And then I have like 3 more that I'm kind of negotiating.
So you'll keep doing the exhibitions,
Yeah.
and then on the creative side, because you once you're done building or writing all the songs and everything for it, then you'll go into the music, like a musical play.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of like in the background, I'll sort of like be doing that as well. And with the exception of this month and the music that's coming out later in the year, I release a new song every Monday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So usually when I do the albums, I'll take a break. I'll let the 8 tracks cover 8 weeks of releases. Beginning of December is the next album, and then starting first Monday in January will be new music every week until we hit like a full album.
So do you have some already stockpiled? Okay, so then
I'm like
that
6
gives
to
you-
8 weeks out usually.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you just, and these tunes just kind of come to you? What's your process about writing music?
Usually it just kind of comes to me. Usually I'm just humming some sort of melody, and then where it really sort of happens is in the sort of style that I want to attribute it to. Like if I'm like, I really want something to be, sound like, an old electric piano from the 60s. Sort of, I try to find like the melody that would evoke that, where I'm using the sort of elements of it and the effects, where I can say like, okay, I'm not just playing any random kind of melody on this piano. I'm doing something where it sounds like, oh, hey, this is from the 60s by way of the year, 5000. And then it just sort of kind of snowballs from there. Once I have that main melody, the drums, the bass, and all the effects come really easily to me. It's that first melody and how I layer it is the hardest part. But usually I'll just think of something, play it, and it'll capture like in MIDI, or it'll just capture like a live audio, clip, and then I'll save it. And then when I'm ready to do it, I just put all those elements on the track and then I mix them until I find what I want. And usually with MIDI, you can write and then rearrange the notes. And you can rearrange how hard you're pressing down on the keyboard and all the effects to it. So like that sort of comes in later, where I think, oh, this melody's not working because there's a note missing here. I can go in and just add that note, and I can add how hard I'm pressing that note to be either softer or louder. And then I'm adding vocal effects to it, or I'm adding reverb, and then all of a sudden the main melody is there, and then all the other elements come off of that because I know what key it's in, I know how many beats per minute it is, and I can figure out what my measures are, and then just comes out.
That's incredible. What is a MIDI? Is that a thing? Is that a piece of equipment?
MIDI is like the how best to describe it. It's like digital notes essentially. So like I have a keyboard which records as MIDI, or it could play as like a normal keyboard hooked up to any amp. But when I'm going through the computer, it recognizes the note, what note it is, what octave, and it creates essentially just like a little bar. A digital bar, and then I can move that up and down. So like I can play nonsense and then just rearrange all the notes.
That's how they get this. No,
You gotta turn this up.
nope. That's wrong. We are so good.
Actually, for the commercial, the reminder, I did a little of this as I came in.
Clever. Never gonna happen, but clever.
Wow, I kind of lost my train of thought there. Thanks, Kyle.
So MIDI is like the best way to sort of describe it is like video game music from the 80s is like how like kind of MIDI evolved. Now MIDI can sound like anything. I can make it sound like any instrument that I want, including drums. So a lot of drum beats that I do are through MIDI.
Is it an app or is it like a whole device?
I think it's both, right?
So MIDI is like the how do I describe it? MIDI is the technology that makes that note possible, and everything else is either a MIDI controller, which is the keyboard, or there's a sound editing or audio editing software which is able to record the MIDI. MIDI is like a digital, like a text file that is actually music that when you put into a program, it can recreate it as music.
So all like the zeros and X's and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
See?
zeros and ones.
There's 0 and 1s.
Zeros and ones.
No X's. And if you get a lot of X's together, you're doing something wrong. It's not coding.
That's tic-tac-toe.
Wow. So I don't even know where to go with this. So you like, how many hours is
a lot,
like
almost 5 years worth of work.
5 years, and you're doing it every night, every other day?
Yeah, like at least an hour a day.
Wow.
At least. And then there's all the other stuff that comes with it too. It's not just the music, because once the music is done, then it has
You're
to get...
writing background stories.
Exactly. Yeah, the work is far from over once the song is done. That what's great is that I can listen to the song now to then inspire the actual story or everything else that I'm doing as a part of it. So it's like almost like just creating music for myself, just to like listen to it and be like, get in the groove and be like, oh yeah, I like the way this is sounding, and now I'm feeling more creative.
What does your wife think of this hobby?
She loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She help you do some of it?
She helps like with the setup of like the record store
Yeah.
stuff, and
Oh, cool.
she like helps me sort of like review all
Yeah.
this stuff.
That's
like,
cool.
You know, make sure that like sometimes like you get something like this, like the book, and you're like, I love the way this looks, but is it good? It's actually with her, and she's like, yeah, it's good. I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I'm biased. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
this came out so much better than I thought. But you know,
Do you
how-
ever come up with a character first and then think, oh, that guy writes songs, like,
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
go the opposite way of creativity?
Yeah, so Pizza Bear is actually what I called my dog that I had a number of years ago because she used to steal pizza crusts. So we just called her Pizza Bear because she looked like
Only
like a little
crust?
cub. Yeah.
No way.
She literally just eat the crust off the
Off
back
the
of the
pl-
pizza.
Yeah, off
And
the,
then
well, no, just off the plate.
Yeah,
You put,
okay.
you know, you'd
Oh,
be eating a pizza.
yeah,
you
yeah,
put
yeah.
the
You
crust
don't
down
eat
maybe
the
for a
crust,
plate,
yeah.
and then she just.
we call those pizza bones here.
Oh, really?
If you're not gonna eat your pizza bones, pass them. That's why I was
best part.
30 pounds over.
Yeah, that's why.
I ate all the crust.
So yeah, so that'll happen a lot. Like this new album, sort of the story of people using music to fight vampires, kind of came to my mind first, and then sort of everything. Then it came from that. Then I created this sort of music and style from that's very inspired by the old Hammer horror movies, if you know what those are from the 70s.
No.
Christopher Lee, very famously, like bad Dracula movies and just bad horror movies, but they're very gory and they're just like kind of culty.
Okay.
And a lot of the atmosphere of it just like kind of can't be matched by a lot of other movies at the time because they were just kind of just making the movie. They were just doing it. There was like no sort of rules. So a lot of this is sort of based on that feeling like of watching those movies or just watching a horror movie as a kid when you're not supposed to, that
Yeah.
kind of kind of creepiness and
I
stuff
don't
like
know,
that.
I was a rom-com guy and still am. I hate horror movies. Yeah, I do not like
A
it.
rom-com?
Yeah.
I grew up on action movies.
Well, I'll do those too, but yeah.
So are the villains from this, like the vampire, is this like a separate story, a sub story of, or like, because
Yeah,
the villain
it's-
that takes away or wants to get rid of music is different than the vampires, right?
Yeah, so like there's yeah, I guess there's a distinctive line because like this uh exists in a way that like all these things are happening on different planets and different galaxies like simultaneously almost. So the undercurrent is that there's like this larger villain, but also happening on this planet there is like a vampire and things
Okay.
like that. So he's like real in the world, but he's not necessarily connected through the larger story other than the music that's being saved. And there's like some things where some of the characters interact with the Intergalactic Beets project in helping to save the music. So there's the artists are not just sort of in a vacuum where it's like just
Right.
an album and that's it and just has nothing to do with anything. It's just cool or whatever. They're all connected to the larger story, but they might not have as big of an impact as certain characters or albums.
Sounds like you're developing a very complex storyline. That's
Yes.
pretty, and that's cool because like, obviously you consider yourself an artist. I
Sure.
think you're an artist. Just hearing about this, but like, you're really challenging yourself. You know what I mean? In a way of, it's almost too vague for some of us to even think about. You know what I mean? Where it's like can be overwhelming because you can go in any direction with it, but you're doing that and you're kind of like weaving it all in. That's kind of wild.
Well, I started very sort of purposefully like making sure that like everything kind of has a tether to it that brings it back to the central sort of narrative of the whole thing. That way it wouldn't get so far away from the concept that I was just doing music and not kind of having it be part of the project. And I wanted people to also experience it in three distinct ways. Like you can just listen to the music and not know any of the backstory and still enjoy it. You can look at all the album art covers, not listen to the music or the story and still enjoy it,
Right.
And I feel like bringing all those three together kind of rewards the audience who takes the time to read it. Even if you read one backstory, most people say like, I want to read another because
Right.
it's just so detailed and you're like, this is all fictional, but it does feel real. How far can I go before it starts to feel fictional, and then some people just go like through it and they just learn like, I have some people email me just saying like asking questions about like the fictional world.
Well,
Yeah.
you're taking them on this exhibition, right? And like you're a music artist, you're a author, and an artist like drawing, right? Like,
Yeah.
so who, like, did you come up with that logo?
Yes.
So where is this sign? If everything's like
Oh,
fake,
that's a fake sign.
oh,
That's wild.
that's so crazy.
Look at,
That's cool.
look
I
at this
lo-
dog. Like
That's based on my dog Daisy.
that.
Yeah, so that's like
Really
so
cute character.
incredible.
Yeah. And so,
And you
is
take-
this when you're? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
When you're drawing, are you drawing on computer? Or are you drawing this on?
That one I did on computer. I have like a little tablet with like a pen
Mhm.
that I draw with.
Jeez,
But some
more
of the
equipment.
stuff, yeah. Well, everything is like so thin and low profile
Yeah.
that it all kind of stacks,
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
I can hide it in a drawer. If you go through the discography, there's all sorts of. There's like digital art. There's like hand drawn art. There's painting. There's photography. There's mixed media. Collage. Modeling. I did some 3D model stuff as well with like some texture work. Pretty much any like medium you can think of, I've used to do.
And in a world now, because I'm sure people ask you, what level of AI take place in any of this?
0.
That's awesome.
Oh, you're my hero. Man. You're like my hero. I think we should stop AI right now. We should have stopped it 5 years ago, but
Right. Well, it's kind of interesting because in some respects, like having AI, like if you're working on a film and you're like, I need to draw some concept art because I need to know. I have this idea in my head, but I can't get it on the paper. I feel like if you use AI to make that, and you say, okay, this is exactly what I want. Now, a team of humans are going to go out and build it for me. They're going to construct this. This is exactly the way I want it. This is the coloring that I want. I think there are ways to use AI like in a healthy, positive way. Like,
exactly.
But like just creating an image and then posting it to Instagram and not being able to say like how you did it or being able to, again, like talk about it, create a universe around it. Like this comes with the music. So I can talk about how the music is made and how that connects to the art and like how that inspired me and all this.
Well, and it's no different than writing a book. You've just added all these extra layers to it, right? To create this whole world for these artists, as opposed to just living in a book, which is wild to offer that to somebody, and you're like, holy cow! Like I feel like I know this pizza bear dude. And, it's just crazy.
Well, if you've ever gone like down on a rabbit hole, like reading a Wikipedia about like your favorite movie or your favorite album, sort of the sense that you get from the sort of the backstories that and the information that's out there about certain things really inspired that to be able to say like, oh, I know how, this famous album or this famous song was made because it's captured like on Wikipedia or in an article. That was a big inspiration. It's like the untold stories of how these things get made and sort of being able to create that and then have my own story about how that is created. I thought was like such a cool like layer to have that you can sort of get lost in the world as if it were real, but then there's also tangible stuff like the zine or the book or the fact that you can listen to the actual music on a playlist and separate it from the story or whatever and just vibe or have a good time or whatever, or just have it on in the background.
Wow. Do you have a character that you relate to the most? Do you have storylines within characters that are drawn from your real life? Like how much of like you is in this?
A lot. A lot of me is in there, and a lot of the stories all have sort of a comedic little twist or jokes or they're satire or they're kind of making fun of famous albums or album covers or situations. And one of the things that I like to do is put like this album was like incredibly influential. It's one of the greatest albums ever. Just like, like really tooting my own horn, Like, it influenced so many people. They got so famous from it. But yeah, a lot of the stuff is like, based on like just like silly stories that like happened to me when I was a kid, or like stuff in college, or stuff about my kids, or like this one's about my dog,
right.
Things like that. So there's a lot of elements in there, but unless you knew me, it would be really hard to sort of pick that out. But I know, sort of where all that silliness comes from.
Do you parody any other artists?
Yeah, so Pizza Bear is like kind of a parody of like the early Kanye West.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
because his logo was like a bear.
I
And
didn't know that.
through a couple of albums. So it's kind of like a play on that. And I did like a Beatles parody.
I was gonna ask the Beatles was on the tip. I don't know why, but I was like, that's a character that
Yeah.
I mean, instead of the Beatles, you could be like the mosquitoes or something.
Yeah, there's a couple of like kind of Beatles parody. There's one that I did a parody of the White Album, which was called the Fright Album because it was recorded by a ghost.
Oh.
But the story is that the ghost got stuck in a vending machine and he recorded the whole album in a vending machine.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And then the song that we just listened to before by the Cosmonauts, they are a foursome who were animals that were tested by the USSR when they were doing space flights in the 60s. And they created these like man-sized animals, and they broke out and they stole a spaceship and they went to a planet where there was a bunch of creatures that looked like them, and they started to play music to sort of record their experience being tested on. And it's like their kind of personalities are based sort of like on the Beatles, just sort of their personal lives and like musically where they sort of disbanded, and they all sort of took their unique directions and things like that.
Wow. That's wild. I mean, you're obviously very well spoken, well educated. What is your educational background?
So I went to film school.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, film for like ever was my passion. And in film school, I learned how to do a lot of graphic design. Just sort of fell in love with using computer to manipulate that stuff, photography, all that kind of stuff. So, after film school, I was able to sort of build upon that, learning other sort of skills like artistically. I learned to play guitar when I was very young, and then I taught myself how to play drums and keyboard. And then I was in a couple of crappy bands in college, and I don't know, just kind of like snowballed from there. I'm very visual, sort of hands-on learner. So like usually if I read it, it's hard for me to put it into practice. But as soon as I do it, I know it forever. It's like in there.
Yeah.
So it was easy for me to pick up like how to do, how to play music and then how to record it the way that I wanted to, and how to use all this new technology. And, when I first started doing this project, the first couple of beats I was like not really thrilled about. And I kind of mulled like even releasing them. And then I sort of like unlocked how to do it in the style that I wanted, and then that was it. And then I was like, every day I was like, I got more melodies in my head, I have more notes, or I have a sound that I particularly want to do, and just sort of kind of went from there.
What so you get the 500 songs, you get to that point, and then you do the musical play. Is your like goal to be in the play or just produce it, or like are you going to be in this play?
Yeah, right now I'm writing it. So there's two characters that are actually in these zines here that sort of introduce the project. And right now I'm writing the male lead character for myself, just because I so vividly see the character, and I want to be able to not control, but to direct that in a way where the passion of the project is coming through from this character, which is me, because it's my stuff. And to be able to project that, I don't know if anybody right now would be able to do that sort of with everything that's in my head, and just how intimately I know the project. I want it to come across as if you're really in this world. And maybe there's somebody out there that can do that, but like right now in my mind, like the voice that I'm writing is my own, to lead the audience through there. That way, for me, it can sort of be connected that if somebody comes after me, up to me afterward, I can speak about the project sort of in earnest, rather than someone saying, well, I just act in it, I don't really know anything about it. Like I want to be a central point of contact, because I'm the gatekeeper. Like if I go away, there's nobody's going to be able to unlock any of these secrets. It's just going to be like, nobody will know what this is,
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm the Rosetta Stone of
Yeah.
all this
No
stuff.
kidding.
Yeah. Can I ask how old you are?
39.
39. Wow. Good for you.
So is this
hitting this.
I know it's a hobby, but like this stuff is so professionally done. Do you break even, or this is all just like
At first I broke even in the very beginning, because people were like, why would I buy something from you? You're just like some internet music guy. But I did my first show in 2021 in October. So like, what is that? 7 months or so after I launched it. And I had a bunch of people buy stuff when I was there. So not only did I break even, I made money.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, so the goal here is I got to get more stuff out on my website, and I got to like just get out there more on social media and stuff like that. So right now, pretty much when I have an exhibition or like my online store pays for itself.
Oh, nice. That's
know,
awesome.
every month, and these 2 shows, October, November, probably going to make a nice little profit.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I mean, nice to have a hobby that pays for itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only reason I've been able to keep it up.
Oh, I
mean,
can imagine.
You know,
It's very
Yeah.
professionally done.
So on, for us, like we're on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. Make sure you like and subscribe, please, everybody out there. Share it with your friends. But at Facebook, we have the most followers. Where are your most followers, and where do you engage with them the most?
probably. Well, social media wise, definitely Instagram. But
okay.
my newsletter, I have like 10,000 people on my newsletter.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Okay.
That's cool.
So that's where most people are like, they'll see your newsletter and be like, oh, and check it out and
Yeah,
go
exactly.
buy something or go listen to something, that kind of thing.
Yeah, before, so I have a Patreon, but it was activated a long time ago, and I couldn't get people to subscribe to it because it's just not. The people who like it really like it, and I feel bad about like charging them like a monthly fee to be part of this, because really all I can give them is either free merch,
Yeah.
or like they can listen to the music early, which I'm like cool with like releasing, but I'm not enough of a known quantity where people are like, I cannot wait to hear this next release.
Yeah,
you know,
gotcha.
people just kind of stumble upon it and then go backwards.
Yeah.
Not all the people like kind of anticipating the forward part of it, because just the nature of social media, and just I'm a small artist in Connecticut. It's, even though we have a big reach, globally, it's really hard to break through. A lot
small
of noise
and fake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have to watch this to understand the whole thing.
Right.
So it's like a barrier.
Which is
to entry.
fantastic. Guide them here. We
Yeah,
can
want
watch.
to get you
this.
more views.
Wow, that's wild. So, so you have 10,000. So you have like a newsletter, 10,000. I kind of lost my train of thought there. This is just like a lot to take in. This is like you're in a whole nother universe.
Let me know if you need to take a
A
break.
whole nother world.
I'm kidding.
So you spend about an hour a day doing this. I feel like that's a insanely productive hour.
Well, yeah, because like I'm like thinking about it all day.
Yeah.
I'm like, like if I'm in a Zoom meeting, I'm like,
Yeah.
got to make a little note.
Now I think about golf all day while I work, which does not make me any money.
Yeah. And today I go, did you break 100? He's like, I always break 100. Whatever.
Oh man.
So, do you think once the play comes, is that like something that you would tour with, or
That's the goal, yeah. So like
it's a-
start small, like in New England, and so I'm actually talking to a venue that's in my town, New Milford,
Mhm.
and actually in Putnam today, I was at the little theater.
Oh yeah,
That's down there.
Bradley.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and they said they rent out. They'll rent out to anybody.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, okay, let's talk. And part of what I want to do is like, especially with these small theaters, like you guys keep the ticket sales. I just want to promote it because I make all my money from merch and everything else.
Oh.
And I'll make way more money by selling merch than I will tickets. I just want people to experience it. Even if we're
Yeah.
giving the tickets away, like I don't care. It's like if there's butts in the seats, like that's what I want for them to come back, to say like,
Yeah.
oh, this is only 90 minutes of a 17-hour experience that I could be having or whatever. So yeah, the goal would be to take it to other places and have it be mobile enough. So I want to do like a big video element so that the stage presence is really simple, and like you could just put it in a cargo van and just take it to like another venue.
This reminds me of Jason Segel did a movie but in the movie he like had this faint Dracula play.
Oh yeah, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That just
Right.
totally reminds me of that so much.
There'll be puppets in it. I want there to be puppets.
Yeah.
It's like puppets. Yep, we're doing that.
Puppets, costumes, special effects, robots, the
That's
whole
cool.
thing. Yeah.
How many people do you think this production's gonna take? Like, you have any idea of an estimate for that?
I think for like the video element part, it's probably going to be a lot of people. But I think for the actual stage show, a couple of actors, there'll definitely be like a sound engineer and a lighting person, because there'll be, lots of lighting cues and just kind of set stuff. There might be like a lot of before people, like pre-production folks, and then like the actual production is just a handful of actors and like puppeteers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now, when it comes to like wardrobe, are you going to be making wardrobe? I mean, you made everything else.
Yeah,
The guy makes cassette tapes. Wow. You got to get the number 2 pencil to fix that and everything. Remember that?
Yeah.
I never use that. I always use my fingernail.
You didn't use the number 2
No,
pencils?
not once.
The worst part was when you were turning it and then it would twist around,
Yep.
and you'd be like, "Oh, I can only move one way, or else this is ruined
Yeah.
forever."
I ruined plenty of them.
Yeah. That's so funny. I got to show these to my kids and be like, hey, we used to listen to
I don't
these.
have a way to play that.
I know, I don't either, but I want to show it to them. Like,
Oh, we can put it on the shelves behind us.
I should have brought mine. I could have
Nah.
brought mine.
Well, yeah. I mean, now,
yeah, I would assume nobody has one, so whenever you're bringing these somewhere.
Well,
so funny.
vinyl had like, I think it's best year ever last year. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
coming
Cassettes
back.
are coming
Yeah.
back in a big way. Like they're redoing the Walkman, not the Walkman itself, but just tape,
Yeah.
portable cassette players that have like Bluetooth now, and they're rechargeable, and they have the old style headphones with like the the little foam
Oh, yeah.
to it. So those are sort of like coming back in style. But
That's funny.
the issue is that vinyl is really expensive to do like one off.
Yeah.
So like if you go to my website and you try to buy vinyl, a full album will cost you $50, and I don't make any money from it. It actually costs me $4. I lose $4 for every vinyl that I sell
Holy moly.
because of the production cost for one vinyl.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would have to produce like maybe 500
yeah,
at
'cause
once,
even-
but then pay that
yeah.
up front.
Yeah.
Hope that I sell them.
Yeah.
I could do like a pre-order thing, but again, a lot of the way that people listen to the music is not sort of future forward. It's stumbling upon it,
Yeah.
going back. So if I release an album, folks don't necessarily clamor for it
Right.
because they don't know it exists. But once they find it, then they want to buy it. So that's the only way that I can offer vinyl is a print on demand, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more expensive, but the tapes are cheap to produce. I sell these for $8. They cost me like $2 to make, all in for each one. So,
Wow.
and most cassettes, like if you try to buy a new cassette, it's like between $15 and $20. So try to just make it affordable, and most people buy it for the nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep it on a shelf.
Yeah, exactly. But if they are curious one day and pop it in, throw
I
them
am
out there.
curious. Well, I am curious about the quality and how that differs from like Spotify, right? Because digital.
Yeah, so especially for both the vinyl and the cassette, it has that sort of crunchiness.
The scratchiness.
To
Yeah,
it that
love it.
that I wanted.
Yeah.
Because the whole sort of idea for the project was the experience of walking into a record store and not knowing what's on the record when you thumb through it. It just have an interesting album cover, and so you'd have to take a gamble. If it wasn't a used record, you can't listen to it. You can't take the shrink wrap off. So
Right.
you have to buy and take it home. So I kind of wanted to recreate that, and then just the sound of old vinyl was really sort of important to me. Just a nostalgic feel of like listening to my parents' albums when
Yeah,
when
that's
I was
what
a
I
kid.
have. I have my parents' albums.
Yeah.
I have a big collection.
Yeah.
I love that like pop and crackle.
Yeah,
at the
because there's
beginning.
love in there, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
used, so you
Yeah.
know how many times like they listen to that, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the experience that I wanted for the vinyl and for the cassettes to be like, oh, this is recovered music. This is lost band,
Oh, yeah.
sort of
Oh,
recovered.
yeah,
The quality is good. It sounds like a real song, but there's just that little element of like warmness or scratchiness to it that makes it feel like you picked it up from a used record store. You found it on the street, or you
Yeah.
just kind of stumbled across it.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
You know?
Underground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
Underground
cool.
music.
Tape trading, and like in the 80s and 90s, like that was a big influence. Like people just like
Yeah.
recording stuff off their vinyl or the radio and just sending tapes to each other.
Oh, I remember recording the radio onto one of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that too. and then
That's wild.
we had the dual tape deck.
Oh, yeah,
We
to
could
record too,
one
yeah.
together and everything.
If you had the dual VCR, that's when you were like really cool. When you
We-
were...
I used to edit my when I made movies when I was a kid. That's how I used to edit between.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to do a commercial for economics class in high
Oh,
school,
yeah.
and that's what we did. Yeah, you didn't have the dual VCR. I don't know what Richie Rich kids you hung out with.
Oh no,
had
we had one.
2 VCRs.
Yeah,
the
same.
old VCR and the newer VCR
Yeah.
from
Maybe that's what I had.
years.
I
in
feel like
between.
it was a double VCR though.
And
Maybe not.
maybe.
That would have been
don't-
huge.
Yeah, I remember because like at one point I think my dad had borrowed somebody's VCR so we could pirate just tapes, which is
Yeah.
terrible, but
Yeah, I mean that's what
you know,
we
back
used to do, like,
then
go to Blockbuster, you get a movie, record it, and then you watch it whenever
No,
you feel
you
like
did
it.
that.
not Blockbuster. Ours was usually like we're getting it from somebody bought it. in the
Oh, yeah,
family,
yeah,
So
yeah.
now we're all getting a copy.
Yeah.
This is usually what happened, I think.
Can't do that anymore.
Or you would record it off a TV, and then
Yeah.
oh, somebody else wants a copy. My dad was actually really good at stopping for the commercials.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Ah,
And then you'd always get like that one free week of HBO or
Yeah.
one free week of Cinemax. You just like record as much as you
Yeah, exactly. Even if it wasn't good.
Look at the movies that are coming out. Hey, you gotta watch all these.
Oh, man.
And I love that sort of analog,
Yeah.
almost useless technology now. Like we don't.
You say useless, but look at it. It all just comes right back
yeah,
around.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about it's not the quality of the picture or the sound. I think it's more of the physicality of it because we're so ensconced in digital that you
Yeah.
can just play any song you want at any time.
Yeah, man. You know how many tapes you need for 17 hours?
Ex-
I got it all right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, imagine carrying that all around
Yeah.
with you.
We were moving a family member that had books like you wouldn't believe,
Yeah.
and his son was busting. He goes, I can put all these on a little stick. This
Right,
big.
exactly,
I can
yeah.
get all these books for you on a stick.
Yeah, there's just
not the
something about
same.
the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
tangible aspect and the collecting, and I think going to the store
Yeah.
to purchase it. There's just something different about
Plus, yeah, just like the whole culture that,
Right.
like you were saying, like when they were trading tapes and had that whole underground music thing, or like these bands that were like not known,
that.
but
Right.
one of them got to record it on a CD, and now they're just passing them around.
Exactly.
to get the
It somehow
name
it found
out and
its
stuff
way to
like
like a
that.
record
Yeah.
producer or just a group of
Yeah.
people, and then they got.
It'd be
popular.
so cool if like Strawberries came back and you were able to put your cassettes there. That'd be so cool.
For those of you under 30, Strawberries was
Yeah, sounds like a fruit stand.
was not a fruit stand. It was a
No.
store where you got music from, right?
Yeah.
What was
they-
it? Eblin's. That was clothing.
Yeah, that's it. It still exists.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
Sam Goody's.
that does not exist.
But that was another music one.
I
right?
think
Yes,
so.
it was,
yeah.
Yeah, and Newberry Comics that had
That still
comics and-
exists.
Oh, that's still there.
Oh yeah, that's still pretty popular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the comics and the music.
They're
They-
about the only business that actually figured it out to survive all
Yeah.
the
To do
changes.
everything.
Yeah.
They got to sell every kind of media there is, pretty much.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once CDs sort of went by the wayside, they needed something else. They get into like merchandise and shirts and stuff like that to bridge the gap. And now it came back around
Mhm.
to vinyls, and now
Yeah.
they're back to selling them.
But like you said, the vinyl is expensive. Like just like albums at Walmart are
Exactly.
$30.
Yeah, but
I
they're-
don't think I've
they're-
seen one under 29.
but
bucks
they're
or whatever.
expensive, but they're producing tens of thousands,
Mm.
so they're making money.
Not
on it.
my point. Just the idea that CDs. I don't remember ever buying one that was over 20.
Exactly, yeah.
Like a good. A lot of them were 10 to 15.
Mhm.
Depending on the artist.
1999 was a popular price. Record Town, I think. And then if it was like an extended version where they had like over 20 songs, it'd be like 23, 24 bucks. But yeah.
Yeah, and then like I can remember artists actually they probably still do it where they'd have like let's say they had 5 good like hit songs.
Mhm.
They would put that over 3 albums.
Yeah.
Right.
They wouldn't put it, you'd have
course.
like
Right.
some throwaway songs on,
Exactly,
on the
yeah.
album. And then there are some songs on the albums I'm like, why isn't this a number 1 hit?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You find one on there, you're like, why didn't this
This
get
was the
any?
single, not the other one.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have any song? What do they call those when they're like unreleased and they don't?
Oh, like B-sides.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those become real songs.
Oh, at some
eventually,
point. Yeah, okay.
Because like I'll go back and rework them.
Have any of your characters died?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
so some sad.
Yes, there's some very sad. There's one.
Or was it like happy because you like killed them off because you're
Oh.
like, this is miserable to write. I don't want to
Right for this guy anymore.
Yeah, on your end, you're like, oh, we got to get rid of this guy. It's getting too complicated.
Yeah, I mean, the ones that have multiple albums, that's
Yeah.
those become sort of my favorites. But there was a parody sort of the Elvis and the name Colonel Parker. Like his manager who was like abusing him and whatever. So there's a parody sort of that type of artist who is like has a controlling manager and eventually just leads to their death. But then the in sort of the style of everything where the music the album then becomes so influential and so it becomes on everybody's turntables and things like that.
So is half the universe doesn't believe he even died?
Yeah, people dressed up like him at like a rest stop or whatever. Yeah.
That's funny.
It takes a lot of work to create a whole universe.
Yeah.
And then be all the characters.
Yeah. Are you coming out with a Weird Al Yankovic character? Parodies the parodies of the parodies.
You know what? I hadn't thought about that, but there is one song that the album was like it was unreleased jingles for like intergalactic corporate commercials. And that was the album. It was like a bunch of different like various artists doing like the song that I released is for like a tractor beam company, and there was like a bunch of other fake products or whatever. So like that's kind of like the closest that I got to like specifically funny. Most of the stuff is like pretty serious because a lot of it doesn't have vocals.
Yeah.
Or there's some like spoken word stuff, but it would be kind of funny to do like a parody of an artist where you could see the influence of the song, but then we have like some spoken word stuff or some stuff like that or whatever. It'd be kind of interesting because there's so many different artists and genres that I haven't even explored that are like just like kind of waiting in the wings, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's infinite, right? You're
Yeah,
making
exactly.
them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You could make the genre.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And a lot of times I do. Like I have one that's like swamp hip hop because the band is like frogs. So it's kind of got like sort of a twangy hip hop style,
Is it like the Bayou kind of?
Yeah, very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Is there 3 of them? And they go, bud.
They'd probably take me down from YouTube if I did that.
Those are some of the best commercials
They
of
were,
beer.
yeah.
The Budweiser frogs. So funny.
Man.
I don't even know where we go from here. This has been such a wild, enlightening thing, and it's really like inspiring as to how far you can take a story. You know what I mean? Because this is like one long, really big story with like so many different. I kind of keep thinking of the multiverse with all the Avengers and
Sure.
and all. Like I'm like, this is kind of.
Would you ever think about writing a novel about all of them? And so it's like the whole universe, right? And they're all little characters in their own way.
Yeah, so I have 2 ideas. I spoke to, I guess you would call them like a mentor, like a writing mentor, a number of months ago who encouraged me to, as sort of like one of the next phases is to write sort of a novel about this, but my idea is like sort of in the vein of like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's very satirical, very funny because the universe itself is just silly. To sort of like lean into that. So that's one thing that I want to do with that sort of like like novelize it. But the other thing that I want to do is create like a coffee table book of all the album covers and all the stories. And part of the exhibition is there's art on the walls, which are all the album covers, and then there's a plaque with the entire story, and there's a QR code that you can scan to listen to that song from the album. So you could just sort of start anywhere in the exhibition and then listen to the music like on your headphones, as you go. Kind of want the coffee table book to be like that.
Oh, that's real. That you're gonna have that?
Yeah, I'm working on that. Yeah,
Oh, no kidding.
So like, basically, it'd be the size of a record, 12 by 12, and you could flip through it, all the album covers, the story, and then a QR code for each one. So that
That's cool.
That would be sweet. Yeah, that's awesome.
Because I think most people, the art prints usually go pretty fast. Like at my last show, I sold like 100 art prints.
Holy cow!
Yeah, we had like 500 people come out.
No way.
Yeah, I was.
So when you
hoping-
say art prints, this is like a canvas that you've had the album cover
yeah,
printed
so
to?
I actually brought you guys some.
Oh, cool.
See how I segue like
Yeah,
This
this is
great.
fantastic. It's like you've done these before.
Yeah, so I have them printed on just archival paper.
Oh my god.
So they're the
That's
size of
cool.
a real record.
That is cool.
And it's kind of wild, like to see like people like walk out of the store with that because it's like that's like in somebody's living room. I like never intended for that to be, you know,
Am I holding it upside right?
Upside
like this, because the opening's up there. So
that is so neat. Thank you so much.
yeah, you're very welcome.
These are
Oh,
great.
and I brought you some T-shirts as well.
Dang.
Here's the Dare parody that I was talking about.
That's so
Great.
So,
I like how they're in like they in a look like a record, right? Like they're in the same. That's very creative.
To keep
bears
on
the
beat, and then
That's so cool.
thin crust. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
and so at the pop up, all the shirts and stuff like that are in. I built these record cabinets, so you thumb through them
Oh,
to
that's
look
so,
for the shirt. They're like by size.
Yeah.
And art print is by artists.
that's so creative.
Wow, this is insane.
And then this is the ghost character. This is some stickers that I'm going to be
Oh,
giving out.
cool.
So he's a very David Bowie type character. He has like albums that are very specific, like one where he's like it's like an old west thing. There's like an 80s like video game style. This one's like he did a 50 song album of just sea shanties. And of course the regular Prickly Pete there. That's the one who did the Fright album who got stuck
okay.
in the vending machine.
That's so cool.
That is a funny predicament. Stuck in a vending machine as a ghost.
As a
you know, like,
He didn't know how to get out.
I do wonder if you become a ghost, if there is a skill to like walking through the walls, or if it just happens.
Oh man.
Like, and if you're walking, do you just fall through the
Or how do you hold
floor?
anything?
Yeah, you're like falling through the floor infinitely.
You remember that movie The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox?
No, I've never.
Oh, it's Peter Jackson, the guy who did Lord of the Rings. It's a movie he did right before that. Michael J. Fox is he could see ghosts, but he works with the ghosts to con people out of their money. So he has the ghosts go to the people's house, act like it's haunted. He comes in, solves the problem, and they pay him. And at one point in the movie, he dies on purpose to go to a cemetery to save like the female lead. But when he first becomes a ghost, he doesn't know what to do, so he just keeps like clipping through the floor like infinitely, and he can't figure out how to like stabilize himself. And then he finally learns how to become a ghost and control things like as a
That's
ghost.
so
or whatever.
funny.
That was to me was always the funniest. Like, yeah, what happened if you suddenly became a ghost? Would you just fall through the floor?
Yeah,
Thin
right. The
records or
concept,
whatever?
and then now with having that same concept with Michael J. Fox, I may have to watch that because
Frighteners is great. It's very funny.
I like him as an actor. He's pretty good. What are these?
Oh, so these are some pins. That one is to commemorate this new album, which is called 2, Roman numeral 2. I have some pins of my dog here, Daisy. We got some just regular Intergalactic Beets pins. And then this one here is the album cover for the new album I'm releasing. It's like a headphones, a diagram of a headphone.
No, you.
Me.
Yeah.
Roman numeral 2.
And I have just some holographic stickers here.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
That's so
This is
cool.
Wild.
Well, it's hard to explain it without experience.
Oh,
You know,
right,
like,
yeah.
I think this does a
I would have
better
had,
job.
even if I read a bio, I don't think I would have understood.
So is this like an LLC, a nonprofit? Is it a 501c3?
So
Is it
technically now it is a nonprofit. I'm fiscally sponsored by this organization called The Field. So which means that I can take donations to keep this going. And really what I'm doing is taking donations for the live show.
Yeah.
Because I want to pay everybody that helps me
Mhm.
to put
Right,
this on.
right.
I want to give them, what their time is worth.
Yeah.
Now you can give me a donation and it's tax deductible. And it's different than buying merch. I can't give you a tax deduction for merch, but you can also just generously give me $5 or whatever.
So is that something they can do at your website?
Yes, they can. Yeah, there's a section on the website that's called support,
Mhm.
and you can either donate, join our Patreon, or purchase merch. And there's like all the instructions on how to do that. My fiscal sponsorship, like how that works, and how you do that on your taxes and all that stuff.
Oh, cool.
Will you share this episode to Patreon? Is that like a thing?
Yes, yeah, and with my mailing list and on Instagram and
cool.
everywhere. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
cool.
Sweet.
That's
This
awesome.
is so neat. This is so.
I know.
I was
I'm
super excited about this episode because I had no idea. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's wild when you like have, and we're coming off of two carpenters, and not to take anything away from them, but I geek out with carpentry all the time
Sure.
and stuff like that. And then this was like, I am not tech savvy, and like I said, this like just to like try and think about this project is like so overwhelming because you've had to work through so much of it as not being tangible,
Right,
and you've had to make it tangible.
right.
You know, so that's just like, you know, just you think about like writer's block, or when a painter, like they have the canvas in front of them, they can't think of what to paint. You know,
Mhm.
they don't know what they're moved by. Like, or me as a woodworker, like you clean the shop and you don't know what you want to build next, or
Right.
whatever you're motivated to. But then for this, I mean, it's even more. I don't know. I don't like the word vague really, but it's like there's so many different directions you could go in.
Sure.
More than me, like, what scrap wood do I have? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like,
Well, I'm not beholden necessarily to the material.
yeah.
Right.
Because it's all
Right.
digital.
You're
I can-
reading
and
from
there's
scratch.
yeah,
Right, I
there's
could
really
do-
no limits. That's better than vague, right?
Sure,
There's
yeah,
just no
yeah.
limits to
Exactly,
it, and it's
yeah.
like I can see so many people just being like at a like I can't go. You know what I mean? Just at a block
Mhm.
because it's like you can go so many directions, but.
And there's a lot
Man,
of stuff that I haven't explored yet.
Yeah.
Like I want to do like music videos and
Oh, that'd be so
you know,
cool.
I was thinking of doing like a fake podcast.
Yeah.
Where it'd be like two music nerds,
Well,
two
sir,
aliens.
I think I draw the line on a fake podcast.
I won't have anybody local, I swear.
Wait a minute.
Probably get
There
more
could be
views than we do.
They could have a parody podcast based on us.
Ah, I like it.
Oh, community workbench
Yeah.
in your universe.
Yeah, it could be called like the Galactic Workbench.
Yeah. That's
Trying to bring the community together and save music.
Right. Right. It's like all about people who other people who are helping the Intergalactic
Yeah.
Beats project to save music.
that's
Like one
cool.
guy that just does tapes or one guy that
Yeah.
does vinyl or whatever.
Yeah. I wonder what animal I'd want to be.
You'd probably be a mouse.
Well, that's the great thing is that the universe is filled with like not just
They're fake animals and real.
exactly. So like one band is they're just like an oil substance that gets poured into these like bodies that allow them to move. But
Oh.
really that the creature is just like a puddle. But when they get put into these suits, they can play music.
Gosh, you are so creative.
Jeez. That's
You-
so wild. Now you can just say no. if have you done drugs for this? No drugs.
No, no drugs.
Oh, good
I don't
for you.
drink and don't
Good
do
for you.
drugs.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, I grew up. My two siblings and I, when we get together, it is a race to see who can be the funniest and the quickest. So I've learned over the past like almost 40 years how to be quick and how to come up with a concept that's fully formed and it comes out of my mouth
Mm.
perfect. So like that's sort of like how I approach this. Everything that comes out is in the format that I want it. Like this book that I wrote, this
Yeah.
chapbook
Mhm.
novella, or based on the length. The very little editing on it. Whatever comes out on the page is exactly what I
Yeah,
want
that's
to be
what we
there.
do.
And that's how it comes all together quickly. Like I'm very decisive
Yeah.
in that way, and I think it's because
Well, and
my
you've
si-
made it. It's actually like picking a golf club out of the bag. You made your decision. And then if you go back on it, it was almost worse.
Right,
The
yeah.
decision you made. And so you're like, I should have stuck with my original thought, right?
Yeah.
And how it, and how it turned out. So
Yeah.
it's smart. Plus, it's way less time consuming to just go with what you have first.
Yeah, exactly. And
Right.
because in the beginning it was more difficult because I was like, well, what is this universe like, and who are these characters? But then as it becomes sort of second nature, when a song is done and I have to either create the backstory or whatever, that just like it's already in my head as I'm creating the music. So the lines, certain aspects, certain words, just flow out.
Yeah.
Because it makes the process for me easier because I don't have to sit there and go like I haven't thought about any of this. I'm just like constantly thinking about it so that when I get to that point, because I don't have a lot of time, I have to maximize
Right.
whatever time I do have. So that has to sort of come out doesn't come out perfect every time. Go back and do a little editing, but the whole concept is there. What I want to be, all the beats,
Mm.
you know, story beats and musical beats, you know, are there, you know, from the beginning.
That's cool.
Wow. What kind of music do you listen to outside of this?
Oh, lots of stuff. I mean, the main sort of inspiration for this project was a lot of music from the 70s and 80s. I don't know if you know who Giorgio Moroder is. He's
No.
like king of synthesizer. He's responsible for like a lot of soundtracks in the 80s, the Scarface soundtrack, Flashdance, Midnight Express, just pioneering synth in a way that people necessarily weren't, mixing dance music and all this other sort of stuff.
You know what's wild is they were on drugs when they
Right, exactly, yeah, almost exclusively.
like they had to be to, make
Yeah.
to be that creative.
And if you know Daft Punk,
Yeah,
Giorgio Moroder was like a huge influence on them.
Okay.
So that's where they get a lot of their inspiration. This band Hawkwind from the 70s, they were like kind of a sci-fi band. They actually hired a guy to like write their backstories for their albums. And so that was kind of a big inspiration, that their albums are very spacey and they all sort of have a little mystical, medieval fantasy sort of twist to them. That's either through the lyrics or there's like some spoken word sections on some of the albums. Yes, if you know that band, their albums Fragile and Relayer, they're like, I don't know, they just sound like they're from the future. You know, Relayer, the first song on Relayer sounds like you're in like a crystal cave. Like it's just like that sort of synthy and piano and just very future focused. And also the lyrics, like, you know, them and like even like Led Zeppelin was like inspired by like Lord of the Rings and all these sorts of fantasy, you know, elements. And so I listened to a lot of that stuff. Modern bands, if you know King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, you guys know them?
Never
Nope.
heard
They're,
of it.
I think so.
they're an Australian psych band. They actually just left
Oh.
Spotify.
Oh.
They pulled all their music off of Spotify, but they are, I think they're just as prolific as I am. They have like 26 albums in like 10 years. And one year they released 5 albums, I think,
Wow.
in 1 year. And their latest album is like if like the Doobie Brothers were on even like more acid, and they have like one album that's like very and like Partridge Family-esque, and they have like some weird synth albums, some like heavy metal albums, and they're
wow.
kind of run the gamut. I find them really interesting, and a big inspiration for this is like you don't have to exist in one genre of music, and you don't have to exist in one genre of art. So if you go through all the album covers, they all have different styles, so that you can't really tell that they all came from me.
Right.
You know, like when you see certain artists, you're like, oh, I know this is a Jackson Pollock or a Picasso, because it's all the elements are similar. I try to, when I start a new album cover, to sort of forget what I've done and go like, what would this band want for this album? If this
Right.
was real?
You try and embody the character.
Exactly, because like all
of the
album
artist.
covers are different. They're
Right.
all done by different artists, and you can really see that. And so I wanted, so King Gizzard was another sort of influence on me. And do you know this band Ghost from Sweden?
I think I've heard of that one actually.
Yeah,
I've heard of
they're very popular now. They're like basically like what if Queen sang exclusively about the devil,
Oh wow.
Jeez.
but in a musical theater type way.
Oh.
Like it's kind of a parody.
Yeah.
So like they have all their musicians like dress up and they all wear masks or whatever, but the music is very sort of power 80s, some heavy metal, some ballads and things like that. I like the theatricality of them because their live shows are like 100 costume changes and like lights and all these sort of stage things and stuff like that, and just all those elements coming together, I think really inspired this to be as sort of well-rounded as it is. Again, if it doesn't have this stuff, it doesn't feel real.
Right. Oh,
But it can start a fictional
absolutely. Yeah.
whatever, right? Like, but
Yeah.
to be able to feel these things tangibly, you're almost like, is this real? I don't know yet. And that's kind of
Right.
the vibe that I want to get.
It
You know?
is so neat.
I almost feel like a comic book, like, of this. You know, he said novel, but I don't know.
Oh, like a graphic novel
A
or a
graphic
comic, yeah.
novel, I think, might depict it better.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Just maybe not. I don't know. 'Cause
Well, that's the thing, is that they're
I guess it depends on the writing too.
yeah, well, I mean, the sky is the limit with the media or medium that I can translate this to. You know, this
Right.
is just like kind of usually what music takes the form of, t-shirts and
Right.
physical media for the music or whatever. But I'm hoping that like a live version or something akin to that is the spark to take it further. To do something longer that's animated, or to do like a novel or a graphic novel or something like that. I just feel like there's lots of interesting stories to tell in the universe and to connect with, because this is for all ages. Now, there's some heavier stuff that when I said before, the Colonel Parker Elvis thing, not for kids, but a lot of this is kid friendly, and kids really gravitate towards the art itself and then like listening to the music and sort of hopping from genre to genre. So like I want to be able to bridge that gap. When I talked to this like writing mentor, she said, young adult novels are like the king of all media right now. Like if you want to write a book, and it's got to be in the young adult if you want to make money or whatever.
Yeah,
but
Percy Jackson's,
Twilight, all Hunger
yeah.
Games, all that stuff. Rode, that rode sort of the Harry Potter wave. To where they are now. But like I feel like young adults and the way that we could tell stories about, a lot of musicians, they do feel isolated. They create music because they do feel like they're separated from other people or like socially or, whatever. That I think a lot of like, young adults, teenagers or whatever can identify with that. So she encouraged me to write like a young adult version of this, but I feel like there's like a split for older audiences who might like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, might like more satirical stuff. And then there's sort of more the silly stuff for like kids. So, I mean, you could take it in like a million different directions. And I have no limit to what I would do with it other than sell it just, I don't want it on like a Doritos bag, but like I'll put it on other medium if the story or I can control, how it's made. Whatever.
There are a lot of adults that read young adult stuff. Like I tell you how many adults read Harry Potter.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why it's so popular, because it really it's like the PG-13 of films, where you can get the young kids and their adults who have to take them to go see this movie. So you make infinitely more money. So that's why that's like the sweet spot for movies. So
yeah, but it also, like, I like to say we're PG-13 or cleaner, but mainly because you want that connection,
right?
You know what I mean? You want like the younger, and it wanted to be more adult, a little bit on the more adult side, so that the kids don't feel like they're consuming kid stuff,
right?
You know what I mean? Like it's and we are talking about adult topic. A lot of times we talk about the trades and getting kids into the trades or educational backgrounds and what that educational background led to versus what, or what it was supposed to lead to versus what you're doing now and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's you've definitely literally opened our eyes to a whole new world,
So cool.
Universe.
That's really neat.
Yeah, and I had no expectations, but also didn't know what to expect.
I partially thought Beets would be involved,
but it's a pretty main component. But
but I mean, I knew based on the description that it had to do with music, but I still didn't know if there would be beats involved.
Well, for all you gardeners out there, check your beets, because it is time to pick them.
And speaking of that, if you do like beets, I have a recipe for beet pizza.
Oh, what?
Yeah, courtesy of Pizza
from
Bear.
Pizza Bear.
Yeah.
That's wild. This is so good.
The merch literally goes in every direction. I don't know how you keep track of this.
Can't stop it.
So did you like? Have you made this pizza and that's like a real picture of it?
Yes.
No, that's so cool.
So you made this pizza?
Yeah.
You came up with this recipe?
Yeah, it's based on a couple of other, like, smashing together some recipes.
There's no goat cheese on it, right?
There is.
Oh yeah, baby.
All right.
I love me
you can-
some
you
goat
can
cheese.
substitute.
We gotta sample some goat cheese, because
I love goat cheese.
a lot of people in my house don't like it.
It's so good.
It is
But
an
you could
acquired
probably
taste.
Yeah.
almost always replace it with feta, and everybody
Exactly,
would be happy.
This
So-
is so funny.
That is crazy. I don't know. I feel like you could be a marketing guru for people.
Oh my! Well, that's
Like-
kind of what you do for if you're a consultant for
Yes.
nonprofits, right? Your job is to like try and how can we grow them, right?
Exactly,
And
yeah.
so
From every aspect, like I'll do like marketing, social media, graphic design, or I'll do like I fundraise, for a couple of clients, or just like help them figure out where the heck they're going to go, like strategic wise, or like how to restructure their organizations in a way that makes sense. You have too many employees, you have too few employees, your
Right.
budget's too high, your budget's too low, like trying to help them figure out exactly what is creating the barrier to greater success or stagnation and things like that.
Are you allowed to mention, or do you want to shout out any of the clients that you have?
Oh
or anything
yeah,
like
sure.
that? Or-
If you like bees, the Bee Conservancy is one of my bigger clients. They're New York City based, but they have like national programs. They do like habitat development, a lot of education, things like that. They're pushing this new like data collection program because there's in urban areas there's not a lot of information just like about bees,
Mm.
and just trying to collect data, especially in New York State because they're New York City based. So we just got a bunch of grants for that to do sort of like a data collection, and involves like young kids like who
Oh,
want
cool.
to learn how to sort of the green job pipeline and just to have experience like at an organization like that, but also get in the weeds with data, how to interpret it, and that kind
Oh,
of stuff.
that's cool.
Yeah, and it's to save the honeybees, right?
Honeybees and all bees.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there's like
Even the
20,000
invasive
species
ones?
of bees, and only 8 are honeybees.
Wow. Yeah.
And technically, honeybees are like a managed species.
Well, I won't tell
like
you
cows
that
or
I killed 2 large nests of bees. Yeah.
We really had to bring that up now.
I had to. Yeah, they were gonna hurt somebody.
were they rabid?
They were yeah.
They're rabid.
They were foaming at the mouth.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
tried to bite me.
I was told, and I don't know if this is true, but like the wasps that you see, like when you see a wasp,
Mhm.
like that's like those are harmful to the honeybees.
Yes.
Is what I was told. So like, kill those, let the honeybees thrive.
Yeah,
which-
exactly. And a lot of bees live like underground,
Yeah.
where they live in like little tubes, or they burrow and things like that. And they're like native bees or non honeybee species like are responsible for like a ton of crops.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
all
Yeah,
almonds,
that's the big-
all apples, like
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
The big issue would be the cross pollinating that they do.
Right.
If we lost the honeybee,
Right.
it would be catastrophic.
Exactly. Yeah.
So. Wow. Any others? That you-
Yeah, I work for my one client is the American Sustainable Business Network. So they basically connect businesses across the country with like sustainability resources and webinars and things like that. They do a lot of like policy and advocacy and stuff like that on behalf of businesses. I work with them and like a lot of their state chapters. I do like a lot of website stuff for them, some like marketing things, some like internal stuff. But they're great for like small and large businesses, like kind of advocating on their behalf,
Oh.
especially when it comes to like, sustainability stuff like solar energy or clean water or things like that.
Wow. Man, you do it all.
Wow.
Well, I've been telling people lately that I work a 48-hour day because that's what it feels like. And then I have 2 kids, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
And
Wow.
you still do it. This is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Why don't you give your website, any of your handles, your next couple of events that are, especially the Putnam one.
Sure.
Shout it out.
So my website is intergalacticbeetsproject.com, and Beets is Beets, like the vegetable. You can find us on Instagram, that's Intergalactic Beets. Facebook is also Intergalactic Beets. YouTube.com/Intergalactic Beets. On Spotify, you can search for Intergalactic Beets Project, and a playlist will come up of all the songs in the collection in the order that they were released. But you can remix that and whatever. But you can any new music that's released goes to the top of that list. We're also on Bandcamp, bandcamp.com/Intergalactic Beets, and SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Intergalactic Beets.
Not shocking at all that you had no problem getting into Galactic Beats handles for everything.
That is wild. It must be something else to be inside your head.
That's so cool.
Is there going to be another universe? Like, you're going to go multi-universe? Because you got like a universe going.
I don't know, because it's so centered on music. Like, I feel like because I want to do like video elements, like I couldn't do like a movie version of this universe, like like which all movies were banned, because then I'd have to make like 500 hours worth of movies, and like I definitely don't have that
okay,
time.
I see what you're saying. I was just thinking,
Yeah.
like, if you believe in infinite universes, which is kind of how some of these movie series are based on. Like,
Sure.
and then you have like I don't know, this bear in another universe, and he's something different.
No,
Like the characters flip or whatever. Like
I haven't thought about that, but there could
Bizarro
be
world or whatever.
there could be a situation where we talk about like I don't know, like string theory or multiverse theory, where in a different universe, you know, the pizza bear character's bad, and he comes
Right.
through and like switches places. Like I feel like that would be great for like a live show
Yeah.
or a graphic novel or like you know, a novel itself or something like that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, man, I'm excited to see this progress. Next week is your event.
Yes, it opens on the 15th. It runs to the 26th. I will be there in person the 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Yeah.
Folks can go to the website and pre-register. And if they do, when they come to the shop, they get free stuff and they get 25% off anything at the
Oh,
pop-up.
okay.
Wow.
Cool.
And that just to register. Otherwise, you can walk into.
Otherwise, you can walk in. Yeah, yeah. I'll ask every. What I did for my last show was like I would say, "Hey, did you register?" And they said like, "Oh, I didn't even know I had to." I was like, "Just scan this QR code. I just want your email so I can update you and stuff. But you get free stuff if you give me your email."
Yeah.
So and it worked. So people walked out with free stuff, and then they ended up buying more than they probably would have if they had just not.
Right.
If I hadn't stopped them.
Yeah.
And or just consuming, because it's like, I feel like if someone walks in there blindly, it's like you're taking a pen light in a gymnasium
Sure.
of the world you've created.
Well, what I say, I have like a little speech when they come in. I say, "We're Intergalactic Beets Records. We're intergalactic music and art. On the walls, you'll find 100 albums. They all have a story that you can read, and they have a QR code you can scan to listen to the song. We also have music like that you can thumb through. The room is like yours to explore. If you have any questions, let me know." And usually, that short little intro will propel folks to look at stuff, and then they'll come back to me and interact. Because if I kind of keep them there at the table, like when they walk in, they'll never get past me. Because like we'll have to have like this conversation about it. And I'll never let anybody in, you know. So I always do like a quick intro, because especially people who like are coming in, they see the sign outside and it says Intergalactic Record Store, so they have some sort of idea of what they might see.
Yeah.
And then I let them just explore to let their minds work. I don't want to ruin anything, and I don't want to ruin. I never say like out of the gate, "This is all my music and art." I just say,
they won't even know.
Yeah.
no, I just act like I work there.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then when they come over and say like, "I don't know who any of these people are. I've never heard any of these songs," and I say, "Okay, great. I'm glad that you asked, because this is all my stuff," you know. And then we start to talk, and then you hear all these. I mean, at the last show, there was like some guy who's like, "Yeah, I've been in a band for like 30 years. We just like play," and he's like on Spotify, and just like he didn't have anybody to talk to about his music, and it's just sort of like those conversations that come up about vinyl or cassettes, or people tell me about concerts they went to in the 80s. "Oh, I saw Metallica when they were nobody," and just like all the memories that it sort of brings up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool. Yeah. Thanks for coming out. Thanks
you
for
for having
sharing
me.
all this. This is so cool.
I hope that this aligns with like your podcast. I was shocked when you guys said yes. I thought based on like your other episodes, I was like, I don't know if this.
We were
lines up.
shocked you found us.
Oh, well, perfect segue. So the owner of the Silver Circle Gallery, where the event is, her name is Carly Sage. You guys should definitely have her on, because her Block 134 is like a whole artist collective thing. She's really great. I'd love to introduce you. She told me about you guys.
Oh.
No way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely. We don't vet people.
We don't.
We're just like, you want to come on and talk to us for a couple hours? Bring it.
If anything, it's a good hang, right?
Yeah, and
I
we love pushing, the local artists, the local entrepreneur. I mean, that's how our opener is. We have entrepreneurs, community leaders, and pretty much whoever we feel like talking to.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because, to me, this is a form of people watching. And I love it. And then if we can get you more clients, if we can get anyone on that side of the bench, more business, more clients, more people thinking about consuming the local products rather than some staunchy shareholder corporate products.
Sure.
You know
Well,
what
good
I
thing
mean?
is that doesn't even exist in your world.
They're the bad guys.
So, you've created your own. Everything is just from scratch.
See, that's more and more reason I think his first fake podcast would be the Community Workbench podcast. Parody us.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, this has been such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Really awesome. Thank you, everyone else, for watching. The Community Workbench family is promoting the Be the One campaign. It was started by the American Legion in efforts to stop veteran suicide. If you know a veteran, if you know a first responder, call them. Be the one to check in on them. For more details, you can visit betheone.org. And of course, next week, we are actually having the Quiet Corner Peer Support Group with Kevin McNeil on, who is kind of the lead of the support group for all the first responders in this area. Definitely helping out people with PTSD. It's something that always goes overlooked. He's kind of the Quiet Corner Peer Support Group is kind of the hero of the heroes, to try and keep people on the level from the things that they see every day or every call that they go on. And so we're happy to have Kevin on Monday at 6, October 13th. We'll see you then. As always, buy local, hire local, dine local, volunteer local, and donate local. Have great days.